coming in at number 13 on our list is Looper from RNG. This is somehow another player who we have all voted as the 13th top player of Worlds.
We're so boring.
The top laner. There's going to be so much disagreement with this. But Spawn, I'll let you start off. Just tell us about Looper.
Looper is one of those players that is very selfless. He will do whatever the team needs him to do. He gets very low econ right now in the top lane, and he still manages to win a lot of top lanes in the LPL. He had a fantastic MSI performance. Historically, you know, people will say he was overrated, but I don't buy into it. I think he was still very mechanically good, even on Samsung White when he was a newer player. And moving into this split where bottom lane became such a focus for RNG, he would consistently build advantages still. And I'm talking, he was on an island. I think he got one gank sub 10 minutes from MLXG in the whole of the playoffs. So Looper for me is just a fantastic all-round player, can play carries, had Quinn games earlier in the year, had tank games, plays APs. He really is a complete package for top laners.
And I see Looper as being incredibly versatile. And there's ways you could fault him or credit him for being this. Like, the team doesn't play through Looper. Why is that? Well, it's because they have a giant resource hog in the bottom lane that needs all of it, and Looper still holds his own very well. So for me, subjectively, I credit him for that, because he is exceedingly good at playing with very low resources and still looks like he's making a large impact on pretty much every game on the second place team from the LPL. So all of those things have me ranking Looper pretty high.
Yeah, he went from being very overrated, I feel, in Season 4 when he was on one of the greatest lineups of all time, to now actually being very underrated by a lot of people, because you don't see Looper specifically win games for RNG due to the fact they have like someone like Uzi sitting down the bottom lane. I think Looper is one of the very few Koreans who went to China and actually got better. But he also got better because he doesn't need necessarily to improve in terms of communication and teamwork. He just had to improve his individual skill, because he was always a good teleporter. He was always known as that guy who just sat top lane, then you did something bot lane, he would TP down and he would be just fine. Now, he still has the same skill sets, he just got even better mechanically. From talking to some of the Western players that played against him at MSI, they were like, this guy is just so good 1v1, like people don't see it, but he makes all the right moves, he's hard to gank. So I think he offers a lot to RNG, and he's kind of that staple rock up in the top lane.
I think there's a very important comparison we need to make here as well, though, because a lot of the things we're saying about Looper are characteristics that Impact had later on in the year. And Impact was our honorable mention, number 21st on the list. Spawn, why would you rank Looper as a higher top laner than Impact? Because a lot of the low resource, little help apply to both players.
Because he's just done it every single week from the start of this year. Like for me, RNG has been consistently number 1 or 2 in the LPL, with EDG going on an undefeated season, and he has been the best top laner every single week for me across the entire split. And that's where I think that Looper's consistency very much is overlooked internationally.
Yeah, also China has had very good top laners historically. If you look, you know, the last few years back, you can always argue with Impact and the competition he had up in the top lane. You know, were the other top laners good enough when it really mattered, and was that why Impact was shining? I think Looper has shown against both people, you know, at MSI international stages, in the LPL, that he's definitely one of the best top laners, and that's why he's ranked up here. But I actually think he's the kind of guy who can look much weaker at a tournament like this. If RNG is struggling on a macro level and teams are camping him because they know he won't get any help, he's gonna look really, really bad. So I wouldn't be surprised to see people after this tournament, if RNG doesn't do well, talk about, how is Looper number 13? What are you guys doing? That's terrible. But that's because the guy doesn't get any help. He's on his own. If he gets camped, it's honestly not on Looper, it's on the team.
I think that's why we make these lists. It's to encourage discussion.
It is.
Top lane wise, 3rd ranked top laner on our list, the highest ranked top laner from the LPL. That'll be Looper at number 13.